All right, NFL is fast approaching. Week 2 is in the books. Week 2 done in the preseason. Thank goodness. Now week 3 will be the last for everybody. And
right.
It's like Joe Flacco is going to start for the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, he
is
is
your opening day starter. Gosh, have we ever talked about a bad quarterback room as much as we've talked about the Cleveland Browns this year? Not us, but the national media. Good Lord.
Yeah, we stay away from it as much as we possibly can.
It's one of the worst quarterback rooms in football in a long time.
Did we ever address the Dylan, not to indulge in that conversation, did we ever address the Dylan Gabriel calling?
Don't care. He didn't mean to say what he said. Again, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we're talking about. It's just dumb.
Right.
It's dumb chatter about a bad team. All right, so here's A block. Let's talk some Cowboys and some NFL. We can talk about what could be a bad team, but the season debut last night, it was pretty good. You had two recent Heisman Trophy winners from LSU going head-to-head. Jaden Daniels went up the middle for 14 yards on a touchdown in his lone possession.
Yes.
Joe Burrow directed a couple touchdown drives. Bengals won, if it matters, 31-17. It was kind of fun to watch those guys run around. How about Jaden Daniels on his touchdown run? The safety for the Bengals didn't even try to tackle him.
No.
Like, what are we doing? Are we playing two below? Like, hit the guy. If Jaden Daniels is going to be dumb in a preseason game and keep his head up and try to run to the goal line, somebody's got to deck that dude. I'm probably better. We don't want to see anybody get hurt, but man, that was not a lot of effort right there. But on the broadcast, as the game went on, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman talking about the Cowboys situation. They just started talking about big topics in college, in pro football, which was kind of nice. But here's Aikman on his assessment of what the Cowboys are doing and not doing with Micah Parsons.
Win or be great without Micah Parsons.
Well, you can't be. That's his leverage. His leverage is they can't win without him. And I know injuries occur and all of that, and you go out and you play. But the defense, I mean, I do think the Cowboys are going to be better than what a lot of people project. I saw something where, the pundits think that the over-under is 7.5 wins on the Cowboys. I think they're going to be much better than that. I think they got a chance. I like what Brian Schottenheimer has shown in training camp and going into the year, and they've got some things that I like about the team in general. But without Micah Parsons, I just don't think they're going to be able to slow anybody down. I mean, he's a total game wrecker, and he's proven that, and he's certainly worth every penny that he's ultimately going to get paid. The longer it goes, the more money he's going to make. So I wouldn't stress too much if I was him, but that essentially is the only leverage. Now, what are the Cowboys going to do? You think I know the answer to that?
I have no idea what Jerry Jones is going to do. So, yes, there you go. Troy Aikman doesn't know either. But, I know we've had the debate, but I'm leaning towards disagreeing with what he said. I think they can win 7 games. I think that's about their ceiling based on what I've seen. Maybe 8 in Dallas. Who's playing left tackle?
That's a fair
And
question.
how quick is Tyler Guyton back?
Yeah.
Who's playing right tackle? Are they any better there? They have the worst running back room in pro football. Can they stop the run? Because they couldn't last year. Have I seen anything in preseason that indicates they can? When does Trayvon Diggs come back?
Right.
Who's playing corner opposite Deron Bland? I still have so many questions on the Cowboys. I don't know where everybody's looking and watching them play saying, well, they're going to be better than people think. What? Their lines of scrimmage are bad right now, y'all. And Micah Parsons is not playing. And I don't know. There's so many questions.
There's a lot of questions that
have not been answered yet.
Yeah.
We're inside 3 weeks to the season.
I don't think I can make a fair assessment of how many wins they'll have. I think there's a shot they could have more than 7 wins because they did have 7 wins last year, and that was half a season without Dak Prescott. Now you're adding Dak Prescott back fully healthy.
Well, Cooper Rush won more games than Dak did.
He won a decent amount of games.
He's gone, and you don't have a backup quarterback.
Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Cooper Rush. We
understood. I'm just saying on a number. He won more games last year than Dak
Washington
did.
got better, and the Eagles are still the Eagles. The Giants are slowly getting better. I think, especially that defensive line, who they might have.
Well, that's my issue.
Yeah.
If you have offensive line issues in Dallas, which they think they don't,
could have their way with that O-line. Yeah.
The Giants have one of the premier D-lines with the drafting of Abdul Carter. To go with Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau.
And Burns.
Brian Burns. They've got one of the best pass rushes in the league. I don't know if Jackson Darkey's got. I just don't know. Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone can make an assessment.
Well, you're coming to camp and you're looking to answer some questions in the affirmative. And Mozzie Smith is still a bust.
At this moment, yeah, he's not shown anything.
I mean, he's been by all accounts. Even the deepest Cowboy insider said, yeah, he's not shown up at all.
First round talent, no.
But who's playing tackle then?
Yeah.
Who's the run stuffer? Again, there's so many, and it's not to be negative. It's just you're looking for positivity, and it's like, man, I agree with Troy Aikman. I'd like to agree with Troy Aikman that, yeah, they're going to be better than people think, but my gosh, they have so many questions. And as you just said, the division is getting better.
Right.
The Eagles are not going anywhere. Who you play on the two Thursdays from now. Giants, I think, are going to give you trouble up front every single week. And especially if you have offense. And again, Tyler Guyton's coming back from the injury, but how quickly does he get back assimilated?
He needs to take a step forward than he did last year.
He wasn't that good
right?
last year. He needed every rep he could get this camp.
He's thrown into the fire. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He's missed it. So there you go. So Cowboys. But, the big news for the Cowboys is let's relive the glory days. You know what I'm saying? Because, the other NFL that's happened to come out of that game, the Dallas with the hold-ins, Terry McLaurin, Trey Hendrickson from that game last night specifically. Yeah. Third and final preseason game. Cowboys will wrap up the preseason Friday hosting Atlanta. Houston Texans will have a joint practice with your Detroit Lions this week, no?
Yeah, finishing off the preseason.
Then they're going to play in Motown. The Texans made a trade yesterday, which we'll tell you about and expand on. But I want to give you a quick news alert. Do we have a breaking news sounder, Jack? Breaking news sounder, because it is official now. The definitive story of Jerry Jones and your Dallas Cowboys, America's team, the Gambler and his Cowboys, is now available worldwide on a Netflix account near you. It is out. You can watch it. It is there. And if you missed it last week when they premiered it on the red carpet, here is a little bit of the official trailer of what's coming on Netflix over 8 episodes.
You couldn't talk about any Super Bowl in the 90s without talking about the Dallas Cowboys. That was our time. Let's show the world who we are. The legacy of the Cowboys.
America's team.
Is either love or it ain't.
The Dallas Cowboys. There's a soap opera 365 days a year.
Oh, man, there you go. A little Netflix sports. It is out. And now, to celebrate and to get you going and decide on its debut, probably fitting that the digital producer for the Dallas Morning News, a guy named R.J. Coyle, has already spent the time to watch and consume the entire 8-part series. I'm assuming he got an advanced screening. And he's penned the following review for this morning's edition of the Dallas Morning News.
Okay.
He says, America's Team, the 8-part episode docu-series, is a lot what you might expect from a documentary about Jerry Jones. It's and the most valuable sports franchise in the world. It's big, it's bold, it's shiny, it's glamorous. But the series is also laced with moments where the viewer, especially if they happen to be a Cowboys fan of a certain age, will be hit over the head with the ironic quotes and cold reminders of how long it's been since the franchise has achieved anything close to the level of greatness that was required to win 3 Super Bowls in 4 seasons. Let's also not forget in the 4th season, they didn't win the Super Bowl. They made it to the NFC Championship game and lost very, very close. And if they had beaten San Francisco that day, they would have won 4 in a row. That's how good they were.
Yeah.
Because whoever was going to win that game was going to beat the AFC's Buffalo Bills representative.
Without.
That's how close they were to 4 straight. And it was something to see. But he says the quotes are going to drive people crazy, reliving the glory days, because whether it's Jerry Jones reminiscing about the P.T. Barnum-esque words of wisdom from his father, you got to make it look like it works, even if it does or not. By mirrors or smoke or wire, you got to look the part. I love that. Coyle continued that the Gambler and his Cowboy is sure to be an informative and enjoyable watch for sports fans in general and a virtual must-watch for Cowboys fans of any age. America's Team is packed with entertainment value thanks in large part to the staggering amount of access given to the directors, brothers McClane and Chapman Way. Jerry, Jimmy, Barry, Troy Aikman, Emmett, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, they're all major players in the series, sharing open and honest stories with a fun spaghetti Western-style backdrop that's perfectly befitting of the series' subject matter. So there you go. It's the glory days.
Are we surprised that it's really well done? Are we surprised it's ironic? Are we surprised about
that
any
Jerry
of this?
Jones gave any and all access as he could give?
Every
and
point.
he's the lead character in this film.
A little spaghetti Western theme. I love it.
Well, they're the
Cowboys. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, there we go.
The bad and the ugly as lately.
But I am going to make an effort to talk to one of the directors here on the show at some point, because I know a lot of you will watch it. I'll watch it. I lived it. We lived it. It was they damn near won 4 straight Super Bowls.
I'll be watching it because I did not live it.
Oh, well,
I got to go back.
I know. None of my kids lived it. Most of you haven't lived it. You got kids that have no idea what this is all about. It's a story. It is something for the ages, for sure. And the review went on. You can read that at the Dallas Morning News this morning digitally, or if you still get a hard newspaper, I'm sure it'll be there. But sounds fun. So there you go. That'll be coming up to get you there on the 19th. I kind of thought maybe the Micah Parsons deal gets done ahead of this to promote it, but who knows? It's only Tuesday. Just came out today. It's available, and that's how that works on Netflix, right? It's like midnight. It comes out, or you don't have to wait till like tonight, like we do with like trade deadlines and things. It's out. and ready to go. Elsewhere in the NFL, coming out of week 2, your headlines include the Texans. They consummated a trade, and following their game with Carolina on Saturday, they, of course, with the acquisition of Christian Kirk and Braxton Berrios this offseason, and they used their first and third picks in the draft on wide receivers for weapons for C.J. Stroud, Jaden Higgins, and Jalen Noel out of Iowa State. The team's second-round pick back in 2022, John Metchie, found himself out of in a very crowded all of a sudden wide receiver room because they need weapons for C.J. Stroud. They want last year they got decimated there. Their offensive line was bad. And, the former Alabama star John Metchie was their pick in the second round in 2022. And unfortunately, he was having his best training camp of his young career. But because of the numbers game, he became the odd man out. So they sent him to Philadelphia in a trade for tight end Harrison Bryant and a swap of 5th and 6th round draft picks. Texas needed a tight end after the injury to Brevin Jordan, who suffered a season-ending knee injury in their first preseason game. So they were down to Cade Stover and Dalton Schultz. But look, we remember at Alabama, John Metchie was part of that incredible receiver corps. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. They were just incredible. Who's the guy that's in jail now, the speedster?
Henry Ruggs, yeah.
And that was all Steve Sarkisian calling plays for that offense that averaged 50 points a game. But he got drafted 44th overall by Houston. But we know, if you don't know, because no one follows the Texans, he missed his entire rookie season because he was diagnosed with acute leukemia.
Yeah.
And because he was young and in great shape, he was able to battle that and made a full recovery. But his body never was right for a year and a half. And he returned in 2023, and he was never able to ascend up the Texans' depth chart. But, man, his head coach, DeMeco Ryans, fellow Alabama alum.
That's right.
Has huge respect.
Pre-Saban Alabama.
I'm just such a fan of the way DeMeco Ryans coaches his football team, and listen to him talking about how tough it was, knowing what the numbers were, knowing the investment they made at wide receiver. But, John Metchie was clearly somebody he had a lot of respect for.
Trading Metchie was not easy to do. I really have a lot of love and affinity for Metchie, everything that he's been through in his professional career, the things that he had to battle through and push through and overcome. It's just very, very fond of the guy. And he's an inspiration to myself, inspiration to a lot of people to see what he was able to go through, overcome, get back to playing football, work back his first 2 years. In this camp, I thought Metchie has looked the best he's looked this camp. He's done a really nice job of preparing himself, putting himself in a really good spot, and he's done everything we asked, did everything the right way. It hurts to lose him, but I know he's going on to a really good opportunity there in Philly, and he'll continue to flourish, and he'll thrive in Philly because Metchie has the right mindset.
All right, there's DeMeco Ryans. That again, I keep as a fan, I'm excited about where the Texans are going, getting their offense in line, I believe, and fixing their offensive line as much as they can. But I just think as long as he's the coach, he's the leader, that's going to be a good team.
Sure.
They just do things the right way. We played the sound earlier this week of Carolina's head coach talking about, how doing the joint practices and the games. Sometimes those things turn into all-out brawls. And I don't know. Houston plays with a controlled violence on defense, the swarm mentality that DeMeco calls it. I'm just a big fan. I'm a big fan of DeMeco. I root for the best for him. I hope he made the right hire at offensive coordinator. I think he's got the right quarterback. I do think they have the talent and the base of talent to compete in the AFC with the best teams there, Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore. They're right there. They've been in the Final Four of the conference. Can they take the next step? Can Joe Mixon be healthy? Can these receivers pan out? I'm optimistic, but at the same time, I'm a big fan of DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah, I am too. There's a resemblance to an extent of what Dan Campbell is as a Lions fan speaking. Players coach for sure, and a guy that the players want to play for, right?
Yeah, they've been on that field, man. Right. They've been through those things and cut down day and all that. And
he's making, just like the Texans and Lions and a few other coaches in this league, due to to push these guys to the extent that they had to also go through not too long ago, 10, 20 years ago when they were in the league.
Well, it's similar to me to, and I know Brian Schottenheimer's trying to do this in Dallas, and I give him credit. Sark, he really is DeMeco takes the time to really build relationships with each one of his guys.
100%.
A lot of that hadn't always been the case in the NFL. It's just like who shows up, I'll coach him. He really, really works to build connection with his players, and they know that, they understand that. Because he appreciated it as a player. The coaches, he's almost like a position coach that way, the way he connects with his guys. And Brian Schottenheimer's talked about having the best culture in his locker room, and Sark has certainly made it a focal point of the Texas culture for sure.